Hi everybody, welcome again to another episode of Fish Keeping Jamaica. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so today we're talking about 5 things that you should be mindful of before you put rocks in your aquarium, tank or pond. Okay, number 1, some rocks are, what I call it now, they have content of salt, right? Because they have content of salt, and some aquatic species they cannot manage the high content of salt. You might just be making your your aquarium tank or pond experiencing what I call it heavy water, right? So hard water, should I say. Yeah, so yeah, you might end up transforming your pond into your pond or your aquarium into what you call hard water system. As a result of that, your aquarium species might eventually die. Another factor you should consider when placing stone in your, should I say, when placing rocks in your aquarium is that placing rocks in your aquarium, the rocks should be have smooth edges. Right, fish at times tend to chase each other, and as fish chase each other, they hurriedly run into, or should I say, chase into caverns or holes or cave-like features that, you know, it is imperative that they seek safety. Alright, so fish going a hole, fish going in the hole and going around the hole because the hole is sharp. Because the edge of the stone is sharp, it might end up and cause, or should I say, inflict bruises or cuts on the fish, opening the fish up to infectious diseases and parasites within the system. Another thing that you should be mindful of when placing rocks in your aquarium is that when you place rocks in your aquarium, the rocks should be securely anchored within the system. Rocks shouldn't be place where in it if because the fish is growing, and when the fish actually reach a certain size now and it's actually moving against the rock actually falls down. You all know what happened, right? When the rock falls down as the fish goes in, the fish actually gets trapped, it's stressed, and it might eventually die, right? So you have to be looking at this when it comes on to Rockscape. Another thing that you should look at when considering Rockscape is that not all rocks remain rocks after a while. Some rocks actually dissolve in water, right? So therefore, as you look for the rock that is more appropriate for your fish species, you should ensure that the rock is not one in which it is just made up of I call it, no, the pillars within caves, within limestone areas. You have calcites, it's built up, become pillars, or I call it stalactite and stalagmite. You shouldn't get any rocks that is like this. No matter how fancy they look good, ensure that these rocks are not placed in the aquarium space, and along with rocks that have been painted with paint that is not fit for aquarium creatures, or should I say aquatic creatures. Another thing that you should look at when placing rocks within your aquarium is that your rocks have no value to the fish if it is placed in a position where in which the fish cannot actually find space in it to actually hide. Placing a big rock within the aquarium, it doesn't really do anything other than probably might make the aquarium look like, wild, or it might make it look away like nature, but to the fish it's just taking up space, right? You want the rock to be there, and you want the rock to be useful not only to you, aesthetic view of the aquarium, but you also want the rock to have use to the fish. So therefore you look for rocks that have holes in it, and it brings me to the next point. When considering rock work for your fish, consider rock work that will help to preserve young ones that may exist in the fish pond or the tank after a while, because you all know that most rockwork aquariums tend to be aligned with fish species that likes rockwork, right? So you wouldn't really put a rockwork in a goldfish aquarium, right? You would put rockwork in cichlid aquarium, right? So as a result, you know that the cichlid, when they have fries and the fries go to a certain size, the fries can actually go into spaces within the rock, hide from the bigger fish, and when they get a little bit bigger now, they can swim out in the open. So you want rockwork like that. Also, in addition to that, one should be very careful when planning a rockscape, not to make the rockscape be of greater space than the swimming space. Yes, the fish likes rock work, but you still want some amount of space for the fish to swim, for the fish to, mate, for the fish to just enjoy themselves. It's like you build a house on a big piece of land and you don't have any yard space for the kids to play. All of it is just house, right? You don't want that. You want the fish to have places, although they're swimming in between the rock spaces and creases, but you still want a little open area where they swim out and you actually enjoy them as they swim out. You can actually observe, you can identify a specific issue in which the fish have. And factor that one should consider before planning or executing a rockscape within their aquarium space is that the size of the rock and the weight of the rock might result in the aquarium glass actually breaking. Now, my advice is that if you intend to do rockscape within your aquarium tank or pond, well, for the pond it's no biggie because the pond is more than likely made up of either concrete, plastic, or something that, well, unless you're using lining, it won't really tear. But for the glass aquarium, what will happen is that if the weight of the rock is of too great a proportion, what will happen is that the rock will cause pressure on the glass. The glass will eventually have a line of weakness, what you call a crack, or a crack, right? Should I say a fine line, where its water starts to seep out, and then after a while the aquarium will just give way. What I normally advise my clients to do, or my friends to do, or persons who do ask me about aquascape using rocks, is that I normally tell them that it's best if they have some form of substrate at the base of the aquarium or the fish tank, preferably either dirt or sand. You can use gravel around the scape itself, but not place the stone, the heavy stone, on the fine gravel, because the fine gravel with large rocks on the top, that is just not a very good thing, because the large rock will pressure the small rock, and the pressure of the small rock will eventually lead to the glass base actually giving way, or should I say crack, and then eventually give way, right? So you tend to find rocks that is appropriate for the thick glass, well, the size glass that you have, right? And you tend to do some little work there so as to ensure that the weight of the rock is of such that it won't cause any damage. Important to note that placing your rock in your aquarium is very, very important. That when you're placing a rock in an aquarium, that is placed without the fish in it, right? Some persons have actually practiced the whole idea of placing the rock in the aquarium with the fish in it. I would advise not to do that, because sometimes you end up squashing the fish unknowingly underneath the rocks. Hit me up below and let me know what you think about this video. Thank you very much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye now. Raleigh. Cool.